Paul, the new album comes relatively soon after Saturn's Pattern. This suggests the creative juices are still flowing, but did you set out to make a new album, or was it just a continuation of the sessions?
No, we set out to make another record. It wasn't a continuation of Saturn's Pattern. Although, having said that, there was a couple of songs that were kind of left over on the tail end of us finishing up Saturn's Pattern. There's a song called New York, which has been around for a bit, and there's another song called The Cranes Are Back.
The cranes are back. Said the cranes are back. Go tell your mama. Tell her spread the news. That the cranes are back.
Well, yeah, that was supposed to be a song of hope in an otherwise very, very increasingly bleak world, really. And I suppose the idea with that really was that in some cultures, this cranes returning are seen as a sign of good fortune. So I was thinking that. I was also thinking about when I see cranes in London. Mechanical cranes. Yeah, normally it means like it's a sign that people putting money back in and buildings starting to happen again. And, some sort of rebirth of some kind anyway.
'Cause a kind reaction so we could feel the love once more.
Soulful is this album. Wanted to break away from the electrics and back into playing and get people really sort of playing what they really want to play.
And is Paul leaping from instrument to instrument? He's multi-tracking.
Always, yeah. I mean, there isn't anything he can't play. You name it, I'm sure he can play it. One way or the other, he'll make a noise out of it, that's for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I play a few different things, yeah, keys and guitars, obviously, and bass. So whoever's around, really, whoever's got an idea.
Cranes was around for a couple of years, but then things like Satellite Kid were around for 2 minutes, and they all fit on the same record.
We were kind of coming towards the end, and we're just sort of thinking, what else do we need? What else could this album? Where else could it go? I'm still not sure what it's about, because it's kind of, one side of it is just this kid from outside the city, but then I was also thinking about a lot of immigrants as well, and migrant workers and people coming over who are on the fringes of society, kept out, and yet they're still part of this infrastructure, really. And so I'm not sure, I kept dipping between the two, really. I wasn't sure what it should end up being. So I've kind of left it sort of fairly ambiguous, really, for people to make their own minds up.
Hi, I'm the satellite kid. Off the graph and pieces of paper. I know what you think around here. I know how you feel about me. Satellite kid. Look what you done. Hey, I'm invisible kid. Got no home, got no pieces of paper. About here. satellite kid.
Josh plays on 2 or 3 other songs on the album. It was just phenomenal player, I think, really. Best of his generation anyway.
He just said, I think, I'd like you to play in this section here. But there was never any, play it like this or like that. It just let me, it was free reign, really. Which was cool because we got to go in and everyone got to jam in the room as a band. And that's just what ended up coming out. Everything's loose and it's this band in the room.
Usually it'll be within the first few takes that the magic will happen. Once you've heard something more than a few times, the brain changes and it gets used to what it's hearing. So Paul likes it fresh.
Don't count me out, don't you dismiss me. My medicine's strong, what you gonna do without me? Hey, I'm the satellite kid.
Musically, he invites us all down, really. Just like if he wants a certain thing or he wants a bass line, he'll invite me or Ben Cordelia to come and do drums, Pilgrim, vocals. It's usually, I personally usually do lots of sort of vocals, backing vocals and harmonies, sort of layered up Beach Boys sort of style. And we sort of build it up like that. We just add whatever we feel like. If one of us hears something like, oh, I can hear that, I can hear a synth part that really needs to go in there, Paul will just go and try it. And then if it works, it's good. If it don't, sack it off.
But yeah, he plays a lot of bass on the record, obviously sings, keys, guitar, things tend to go down with the vocals. Sometimes that's kept. Satellite Kid, that was just the band in the room. And then what would be the opposite to that? That would be, you'd have something like Woosey Mama, which is kind of pieced together.
And if it goes, see what you think this when he goes to.
We don't need to check against the vocal because you're going to sing it differently, aren't you?
Yeah, but it'll be fine, mate. If you can, man, keep the accent, the 2-bar accent, and then we can go to the bridge and then we'll chorus. But there's harmonies back on that last. I wasn't, but I can do. So it'd be out of. Two bars in between the verses, right, isn't it? Just try it, eh? Yeah, just get used to it, mate. Woo, say mama waiting on that corner. Woo, say mama, what you won't get me. Woo, say mama, but you don't get me. I kind of imagined like the Ikettes singing behind me. So then I thought of Pee-Pee of Pat Arnold. She was an Ikette. You know, you can't really get any better than them two, I don't think, really. You know.
I was here for that session. They were standing here on this spot, and I was amazed at the way that you sent them in the room. You hadn't played them the track. They listened to it in the cans. You gave them a bit of direction, and they were off. And that track was nailed in about half an hour.
Yeah. It's normally how we work.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is that the way it always works in here? You're trying to capture the sense of the spontaneous.
Yeah, we tried to, yeah. That's why I didn't really want to play them too much beforehand, because I didn't want them to sort of overthink it. It's dead simple anyway, but it's just the sound, really. When you work with people like that, you use them because of the sound they've got, you know, the sound they generate. And yeah, probably the same for nearly everyone who comes and plays with us, really. You only get a few takes of us, you know.
Yeah. Woo!
I'm just going to play a little bit for your benefit.
He wasn't really sure. Woo! Say mama waiting on that corner. Woo! Say mama, but you won't get me. Woo! Say mama waiting on that corner. Woo! Say mama, but you don't get me. Woo! Say mama waiting on that corner. Woo! Say mama, but you don't get me.
It's not like 100 takes and being like, oh, this has to be the best vocal we've ever done or anything like that. It's let's do something, see how it sort of comes to us, and then having that reflection time, and then you go, wow, that really is outstanding.
In the times too far to view, in the places I once knew, and every footstep that I've taken was just one step I took to you. In the strangers passing by, to the castles in my eyes, under the busy streets of Marcus, where I look, baby, I look for you.
I wanted to kind of show off Paul's voice, and that sounds a bit obvious, but with you, when we're swapping between so many different styles, there's moments where we can sort of just kind of show off where his voice has matured to, really, because I think it's kind of one of my favourite periods for him. I think it is my favourite period for kind of where his voice is at.
When time no longer sighs, there'll be choices
it just coming in here, just on this piano here one night. And I just started playing it and singing it. I didn't think about it. It just happened, you know. Sometimes those things just happen, and I wasn't on my mind. I wasn't thinking of what I'm going to write. I just sat down and started playing chords and singing it. And they're always nice when you get a song like that, when it just comes to you. But yeah, very much, you know, like I suppose in an old style soul tune, really, you know. I've been to see William Bell maybe a bit before that. So I was kind of thinking maybe about Stax and those sort of great songs on that label.
A lot of variety in Paul's writing on the album, you know. We'll have one track which is real, sort of acoustic, melodic, and then there'll be some almost like a house, a dance track. The way Paul writes is he's always moving forward. Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't really want to go and revisit a previous sound or a previous album he's done, because to him I think that's boring.
No song could ever sing. One tear could say it all. This cruel and broken earth.
Got to keep it moving forward. It's got to be fresh, because it's got to hold our attention.
You know, it's always a challenge. I think every record's a challenge. You know, what are we going to do now? Where could we go? Where else could we take this thing? You know, because until you start recording, you don't know where it's going to go. Whatever ideas you might have, most of them will all have changed by the end of it. And I think that's inspiring in itself, really.
Can't seem to let it go. There's too much to say.
The second track on the album is Nova, and I think this is a really key track because it's about a mission statement in a way, which is about looking forward, moving forward. You've got the metaphor of space and heading to the next planet. But it's always been your musical outlook, hasn't it? To head somewhere new.
I guess so, yeah, I've tried to anyway. I mean, obviously I have my limitations like everyone, you know. It's when you try and break through those limitations and see how much further you can go. I don't know, there must be an end to it, I suppose, but I think it's really been brought up with the Beatles, you know. Not that I'm in any shape or form trying to compare myself to the Beatles, but as a fan, as a kid, you know, growing up with the Beatles, it was always that sense of excitement and expectation of where they're going to go next and where they're going to take us on this journey. So that was kind of always like my benchmark of what an artist or a band should be doing, you know. And I think that still holds true for me, really. And sometimes you get there, sometimes you don't, you know. Even if it's only 2 or 3 moments on each album where I think that's different, that's somewhere else, that's somewhere I haven't been before.
Can't seem to let it go. Can't seem to let it go. Can't seem to let it go. There's too much to do.
Every idea, if you want to, from my point of view, I feel as if I can research every idea. There's been periods where we have just gaps in songs. There's drums saying there's going to be 8 bars there, but we're not sure what that is yet. And then a couple of months later, Paul will come back in and go, right, I've got that now. And then we'll go and put that in.
Are you receiving me?
Where it's going to go, nobody knows, but if you can find those strongest moments and the strongest performance and somehow enhance that even more, I think this is where we're at now.
I love the first stages of when we just start a record. And it might be demos at first and just rough ideas. Some might get scrapped, some you might continue. It's the playground, you know.
That's the whole, I think, the studio's been, there's a vibe to it that's generated a feeling, especially for Paul, the comfort, and we all feel comfortable here. You know, sat down, making records is one thing, but actually enjoying it, I think that's the key.
But yeah, there's definitely the vibe of the barn, and the kind of magic of it really is the kind of, you're not sure what's going to happen for like week to week. There'll be something that you didn't even comprehend. At least one thing every session, something will happen. Someone will turn up, someone will send us a track, or something always happens. Always happens. And they're all part of, I think they're all part of the process down here.
Yeah.
I like the sort of acousticy ones on this album, like the Impossible Idea.
The title I borrowed from Noel Gallagher.
Why? What did he have? He had that as a...
Me and
As a
Noel
lyric?
we wrote a song for the Monkees for their last album, and when I was writing the lyrics for it, I asked him to send me some titles over, because he's very good with his titles, and that was one of them, The Impossible Idea, but I thought, I'm going to keep that for myself. I can immediately hear a song behind that.
Hanging around till my eyes fix on the impossible idea that I'll change the world.
I thought it sounded like a Eurovision Song Contest song. I thought it could be our next UK entry for next year. That's how I was imagining it anyway. It's really a song about me, I think, and my songwriting, and it's more really as a statement on myself, really. Trying to achieve this impossible idea that what you do is worthwhile, or what you're doing is great and good work and all that stuff, which you kind of have to believe while you're doing it, but there's also comes sometimes when you reflect on it and think, is it worth it? Am I doing the right thing? Is it just a waste of time? So it's kind of got a bit of that, I suppose, a little bit of doubt in the process, and I was at the same time celebrating the process as well.
Hanging around just to hit on the impossible idea that I might change on. Sadly, under delusions of grandeur, good is just not good enough. Here, there,
I was thinking, yeah, of a spiritual revolution of some kind that's born out of love and kindness and compassion for each other, as opposed to more bloodletting. And I can't really see any kind of signs of that in the world at the moment. Doesn't seem to be any one place of sort of real hope, I don't think. We haven't got any great world leaders. We haven't got a Mandela. We haven't got a Dr. King. People like that. But I think if the world is to change, it's got to come from the people. It has to come from us. And I'm kind of waiting for that sort of sign, really, of some kind, of some sort of unified feeling amongst people. Because it's bleak times, right? It's quite scary times, I think, really. So I suppose the album sort of addresses that, in my mind, anyway. Hopefully it gives people a good feeling and positive feeling.
I like hanging around till I swear.